This training film has been prepared for Commander Fleet Air Wing, U.S. Pacific Fleet for safety of flight purposes. The intent is to acquaint the pilots with the airfields, their approach facilities, terrain features, and prominent landmarks. Remember that specific information presented may change. Flip publication should be consulted for the most current information. All headings given will be in degrees magnetic and all altitudes in feet above mean sea level. C1970s Point is located on the south shore of Subic Bay, situated on Luzon Island in the Bataan Province, Republic of the Philippines. C1970s lies at latitude 14 degrees 48 minutes north and longitude 120 degrees 16 minutes east. It is designated a Category C airfield located approximately 40 miles west of Manila International Airport and 30 miles southwest of Clark Air Force Base. This approach is a low-altitude TACAN approach to runway 07. As we enter the mouth of Subic Bay and pass near Grande Island, a transit alert and maintenance facilities are available 24 hours a day. Military customs is required upon arrival. Patrol aircraft are normally hosted by the Lieutenant VP Squadron. The single asphalt runway with concrete landing areas is oriented 067 degrees and 247 degrees. Runway 07 and 25 is 9,000 feet long and 200 feet wide with approximately 375 feet of overrun existing at each end. Optical landing systems are located 800 feet from the ends of each runway. Variable high-intensity lights are available for both runways. Field elevation is 55 feet. This approach is a GCA to runway 07. Entry is over Grande Island in the mouth of Subic Bay. Control of air traffic within the Manila FIR is exercised by the Manila Area Control Center. Filipino air controllers are used. Manila Center is presently radar limited. Stargazer GCI radar is available. High and low altitude TACAN approaches from the southwest holding exist for C1970s Point. These approaches result in 500 feet and 1 1/2 mile minimums. High and low altitude radio beacon approaches also exist for runway 07 and 25. Minimums go down to 800 feet and 700 feet with 2 3/4 mile visibility respectively. An additional low-altitude TACAN approach exists for runway 07 to 500 feet and 1 1/2 mile minimums. Circling approaches south of runway 07 are not authorized due to high terrain. A minimum of 5,000 feet is allowed when overflying the Naval Magazine area located southeast of runway 07 within a 4 nautical mile radius of C1970s Point. Because of the mountainous terrain surrounding Subic Bay, instrument approaches to GCA pickups are highly recommended. This TACAN circling approach to runway 25 shows a panoramic view of Subic Bay, the entry over Grande Island. Note the tall mountain rising 3,048 feet at the left of the bay entrance. Precision radar approaches are available to runway 07 and 25 down to 300 feet and 1 mile minimums. Glide slope is 3.5 degrees for runway 07. As we pass over Grande Island, a wave off to the left is made for a downwind entry to runway 25. Prevailing weather at Nas.Cubi is tropical in nature. Rainfall is extremely heavy, averaging 130 inches a year. September to April is the dry season, with a minimum rainfall of 0.1 inches occurring in January. This visual approach to runway 25 shows the city of Olongapo. When VFR, aircraft must remain above 2,500 feet when overflying Olongapo City. When approaching the airfield from the northeast, aircraft must stay north of Mount Santa Rita, rising 1,591 feet, shown here in the distance left of center. Pilots are cautioned that terrain to 3,514 feet is located west to northwest of the airfield. Existing obstructions are marked with standard red obstruction lights within 10 nautical miles of the field. The fuel farm is passing beneath the aircraft. Do not fly over the fuel pier located 060 degrees at 1 nautical mile from the approach end of runway 25. Right-hand traffic only is allowed to runway 25. Waving off down runway 25, the Subic Bay entrance and Grande Island can be seen ahead. Crossing over the naval station Subic in the city of Olongapo, we commence our turn for final approach to runway 25. The fuel farm is left and below the aircraft. After landing, roll out to the end of the runway unless cleared for an early turnoff by the tower. Patrol squadron aircraft are normally hosted by the Lieutenant VP Squadron. As we turn off the runway, the VP hangar and line area can be seen ahead. This approach depicts a typical GCA down the valley to runway 18 at UTAPAO Air Base. Note the 896-foot mountain to the left at what would be the 90-degree visual approach to this runway. UTAPAO Royal Thai Navy Airfield is located on the southern shore of that part of Thailand adjacent to Cambodia, lying in the northern part of the Gulf of Thailand. Its latitude is 12 degrees 41 minutes north and longitude 101 degrees and 1 minute east. Elevation is 59 feet. The airfield lies 165 degrees at 32 miles from Bangkok International Airport and 1,100 miles west of Cubi Point in the Philippine Islands. Prior permission is required to land at UTAPAO. UTAPAO is an all-weather airfield with a single asphalt runway 18 and 36. Runway 18 and 36 is 11,500 feet long and 200 feet wide, with 1,000 feet of overrun at each end. Runway 18 is the primary instrument runway. VASI visual approach slope indicator lights are available on both runway 18 and 36. VASI lighting is for 2.5 degree glide slope setting and does not correspond to the GCA glide slope due to physical location. This approach shows a low-altitude TACAN approach to runway 36. A chain of islands in interconnecting land is shown to the left leading into runway 36. TACAN and VOR facilities exist at the field, along with a RAPCON controlled by U.S. personnel. VFR traffic patterns are right-hand approaches to runway 36 and left-hand approaches to runway 18. This approach indicates a radar vector that can be expected to runway 36 from existing RAPCON facilities. Note the land chain and islands extending southward from 36 immediately west of the field. Transient maintenance is limited to servicing only. All aircraft should expect an hour delay for landing and takeoff. This is due to special no-tammed aircraft recovery and launch periods. UTAPAO is a designated port of entry and military customs should be expected. Caution is directed to the unlighted hill of 890 feet located 2.2 miles north-northeast of the approach end of runway 18. This hill sits at the approximate 90-degree approach position for patrol aircraft. It is therefore recommended that all night landings be preceded by instrument approaches to this runway. UTAPAO Air Base is located on the southern end of the valley with peaks to the east rising to 1,263 feet and to the west rising to 1,043 feet. High and low altitude approaches available at UTAPAO consist of VOR and TACAN to runway 36 and TACAN or TACAN ILS to runway 18. All approaches provide straight-in alignment to the existing runways. Precision radar approaches are available to both runways down to minimums of 100 feet and 1/4 mile visibility. A prohibited area exists over nearby Sadaheep Naval Base. This area encompasses a circle of unlimited altitude of 4 nautical miles centered on 12 degrees 39 minutes north latitude and 100 degrees 53 minutes east longitude. Note the mountain range to the west of the airfield, forming one side of the valley leading to runway 18. Sadaheep is directly ahead now at approximately 8 miles. The VFR approach from a right-hand downwind approach to runway 18 shows the UTAPAO surrounding terrain north and east of the field. The 896-foot mountain located at the 90-degree position from the left-hand downwind to runway 18 is unlighted. Its 3 peaks, viewed against the predominantly darkened farmland to the north, is especially dangerous at night to VFR or circling approaches to this runway. Prevailing weather at UTAPAO is tropical in nature. A high of 96 degrees Fahrenheit in April and a low of 72 degrees in January results in an average year-round temperature of 85 degrees. Precipitation averages 62 inches for the year, with a high of 12 inches per month during the rainy season of May through August. UTAPAO is below 300 feet and 1 mile visibility less than 1% of the time.